You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Folks, it's Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the big show. As always, with the Chris Voss Show, when the lady sings it, that makes it official. Welcome to the big show. For over 16 years, 2,300 episodes, we bring in the Chris Voss Show, and we're just going to keep bringing it. We're going to double or triple that amount. I'm tired just from thinking about that. Opinions expressed by guests on the podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the Chris Voss Show. Some guests of the show may be advertising on the podcast, but it is not an endorsement or review of any kind. Anyway, we have an amazing young lady on the show. We're going to be talking about her insights, her experience of life, her stories, and some of the things that she can give you advice on to help you be better. Her name is Kelly Brown. She's the founder and CEO and master esthetician.
It's hard to say, I know. Yeah, esthetician.
Esthetician. I flunked second grade. With nearly 30 years of experience in aesthetics and skincare formulation, Kelly Brown is a driving force behind Corrective Skin, a legacy brand dedicated to clean and clinical skincare. Who wants clean skin? Nah. But she's got it. As a second generation, she worked alongside her mother, who founded Corrective Skin over 30 years ago, not only helping the business to grow, but also working hands-on with clients while her mother developed many of the brand's time-tested formulas. These formulations became the foundation for their clinic, delivering real results for decades. She is not only an expert in corrective skincare, but also an educator helping both professionals and clients navigate the world of cosmeceuticals and results-driven product solutions. Welcome to the show. How are you, Kelly?
Thank you for having me. I'm great. How are you?
Thanks for coming. I'm doing well. Give us any .coms. Where do you want people to find you on the interwebs?
Yeah, our website is correctiveskin.com. Instagram is @correctiveskin, and Facebook is Corrective Skin.
Now, in talking in gamer terms, I don't like this skin that I have. Can I get a new skin that's much hotter?
You just have to use my skincare, and then, of course, you can.
There you go. I just paste enough of I don't think there's enough skincare in the world, but you do have some good stuff. So let's talk about it. Give us a 30,000 overview of what you guys have going on over there.
So like you heard in the bio, my mom did start our skincare line over 30 years ago, and we just have really paid a lot of attention to the formulations and the integrity of the ingredients and the active ingredients and how they're made. So what people find is when they use our skincare, it actually works. And I know that sounds kind of like cliche. Oh, they actually work, but it's so true. We have a cult following here in Salt Lake City for that reason. We have clients that have been with us for 30 years, and it's really because it works, and you can see it in my client's skin. It's pretty amazing. And on our website, we have our bestsellers, our 5 bestsellers that we've had over the years. Over the last few years, I've rebranded, relaunched. We've been around for 30 years, but we've rebranded, relaunched, new look, new feel, and I'll be bringing out more of those time-tested formulations as time goes on. But these are like the best of the best that we want people to be introduced to.
It's pretty awesome. You've got some of your bestsellers, EGF cream. What does that do?
So it's an epidermal growth factor, and it's a peptide cream. What's really cool about that cream is that we call it the youth protein. Basically, the peptide in that is a messenger peptide, and it communicates with the skin cells and reminds the skin how it was before it was damaged and how it was when it was younger. And if you start using the product when you're young, your skin will just age a little bit slower, truthfully. It's pretty amazing.
Collagen is good for you. When you're young, you have lots of collagen, and
exactly.
When you get old, I found out you don't.
Yeah. But you know what? You can do things as long as you're taking it internally and you're using things topically that will actually penetrate into the skin and deliver, certain things that will help the skin to produce more collagen, then it'll help.
I just take my collagen shake protein, my collagen additive or whatever, and I just shovel it into my mouth because I'm trying to get back to being tiny again.
See,
and
it's going to help.
Working very well because, I'm old. I never took care of my skin either. I need something that can take me back to my youthful figure. That's what I think. So, you got anything like that?
I only do skincare. Sorry.
I'm at the point where I'm just going to use a chainsaw and just shave it.
But hey, maybe if you started using skincare now and you were consistent about it, because consistency is key, you'd see something. But
it puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again. That's what goes on me in the basement.
Oh, no.
What else do you got? You got this. We do the jokes on the show. So don't use it if you're a serial killer, damn it. Anyway, you got the starter bundle. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so basically that's our curated 5 bestsellers, but it gives you an AM and PM program. The only thing it doesn't have in there is a sunscreen, but we are coming out with our sunscreen in the summer. But luckily, on our website, we do have what's called a pore clogging checker. So you just go to the nav bar, you click it, and then you can input any labels from other brands and see if it's something that's clean to use. Sunscreens and makeup are some of the hardest on the market to find that are clean and won't break you out if you're prone to breaking out. So that helps so that you can also use other things with our brand. We try to also educate our clients since, we are an esthetician founded brand and we're educators. That's a huge piece of what we like to offer as well.
What's an esthetician and why is that important if you can help define that for audience?
Yeah, so we are trained to work primarily with the facial skin, face, neck, chest. And, so we are trained to understand what ingredients to use, how to use it, what's going on with your skin and things like that. Not a dermatologist, but I also feel like we come with a different approach, one that's a little bit more empathetic and understanding of everyday life and your average person and what you should be doing on a day-to-day basis. And we try to stay away from like pharmaceuticals and things like that. But things that work. That's why we have a cosmeceutical brand. It's right in between. It's not a cosmetic. It's not a pharmaceutical. It's right in between.
I understand there's a lot of toxins, especially in some of these the sunburn protective stuff. There can be a lot of toxins in those
There
things,
can be, yeah.
Versions of them.
Yeah, we use an SPF 30 primarily because the higher SPF you have, typically there'll be more chemicals in there to keep that sun protection factor available longer. So we stick with a 30 and then we just say apply every 30 minutes because that's what the SPF means, is how long it will last you protection in the sun when you're in direct sun. Yeah. So if you're in direct sun, like you actually need to be applying every 30 minutes, every 30 to 60 with an SPF 30. It's a full-time job.
Today.
It's a full-time
I did
job.
not know that the number was the time.
Yeah.
I just figured it was the power of repelling the sun. So I learned, this is why I do the show. I learn new shit every day.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I usually wear SPF 30 just when I turn the lights on in the house because, I don't know.
I mean, honestly, I always tell people, just wear it every day. You get a lot of sun coming in from windows. And
that's true.
Yeah.
I just I'm a vampire, and so I just that's what I do during the day to stay alive and not fry. I just cover myself in SFP. Yeah, I did not know that was the time. I'm like, if you do SPF 100, then that's, I don't know, you're basically wearing a giant condom from the sun.
You kind of are, but
yeah. Condom from the sun. That's
a new one.
New terms we discovered.
That's a new one. I just learned something new today too. So
I think that's a romantic novel from one of our romantic novels coming out soon. There's 3 things that you guys focus on that are important to your stuff. We talked about the non-toxic. There's paraben and dye-free, which I think is important as well. Chirally, correct? I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correct.
Chirally. So chiral, yeah. So basically what that means is when it comes to active ingredients, we have our scientists in the lab splice ingredients so that there is a mirror imaging effect. So whatever side of a molecule is actually accepted by the skin is the one we keep in our product. And so that helps it to be more effective, to absorb quicker, have less irritation. Yeah. And we've always done that. And we've always been paraben, dye-free, cruelty-free, clean. And it's become really trendy in the past few years. And what's really frustrating for me, though, is that a lot of labels lie and say they're clean, say they're non-comedogenic, which means that it won't cause breakouts. But then I'll look at the ingredients and it's not true. So as an esthetician who has their own brand, but also tries to help people with their skin, that's really frustrating. You know, for example, I'll see a teenager and she'll come in and she's been using makeup on her skin that's horrible. And she's thinking, oh, I need all this acne products. Really, she just needed to get off the bad skincare, the bad makeup, because it was causing it, and yeah, so it's really frustrating, and it's hard for people once they, get a taste of what's out there and they use things that say it's clean, and then they have issues to trust other brands that are honest, that really do have, the clean ingredients and what they say they do in their products like we do. Yeah.
Sounds like you start one of those certification programs or something, but I think they cheat those too sometimes, don't they?
Yeah, they're all a little different, and I don't know. It's just, it's not FDA regulated as far as what people can put on their labels.
Yeah, I've seen that where people use bad acne medication that just gives them more acne technically because it plugs up their skin and their pores. And you guys also focus on that as well. I'm not sure I'll say this right. You said it earlier, and I'm not sure I remember it. Comedogenic.
Yeah.
It's like comedy for genetics.
Yeah, kind of. So, kind of, gosh.
Non-comedy. It's not funny.
A comedone is an acne lesion.
Oh.
So, yeah. So it's just high tech. It's like they should just say non-acne causing. But yeah, so non-comedogenic would mean that it does not cause breakouts.
It doesn't clog your pores. So you don't get those black heads and white heads and all that stuff you get when you're teenagers. Some people still get when they're older. Yeah, we've had a couple people on the show that have talked about parabens and the dyes and the different things, chemicals in our stuff. And one of the things they researched was young women are having their periods sooner at 9 because there's so much this estrogenics and paraben and other chemicals that are in everything. In
our food and Yeah. And, exactly. They can be hormone disruptors. So we've always tried to bridge that gap between being clean and clinical, meaning that we have actives in there, but the preservatives we use are safe. They're not toxic, because if you're, going to use actives, you have to have preservatives. And so a fully clean product might be more of like a health food product with no actives, a little easier to be completely free of everything. However, you don't get the results, right? So we're kind of like a blend of it all, where you get results, it's clean, it's not going to break you out. And also the experience of our products. Truly, like, we were created by an esthetician, and we used our products in our practice for 30 years. We still do. And so to give people facials with products that smell like medicine isn't really fun. And so they smell really good. They feel really good. All the smells come from natural sources. I've had people be like, I don't know if I want to try this. It says it smells like cranberries. And people try it and they're like, oh, okay, game changer. It smells so good. Like, they look forward to using it, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's important not to clog your pores. With the paraben stuff, I kind of, we had the guest on the show. He wrote a book about estrogenics, and I think we've had one or two other ones that talked about this subject. And he had a list of all the products you could buy that were paraben free and non-toxic and animal friendly, and not animal friendly, not like you put that on your dog, but I don't know, if you want to shampoo your dog, maybe it's okay, I don't know. But I kind of thought it was a little foo-foo. I'm like, okay, maybe it has some sort of effect. So I started using those shampoos and soaps that were paraben free. And after a month or 2 weeks, I forgot to order more from Amazon, and so I'm like, I got some soap over there that I used to use and some shampoo I used to use. Man, after a month of using the paraben free stuff and then switching back to the just off the shelf crap I was buying, and technically I guess it's off the shelf at Amazon, but my hands felt like, you ever seen where they can dip stuff in wax?
Oh yeah, paraffin wax.
Stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that technically that's a wax? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dude, it felt like I dipped my hands from the soap into one of those wax things, and you pull them out, and your hands are like this. These giant wax things. I scrubbed my hands and washed them 5 to 6 times to try and get that wax off of my hands. It was making me mental, and then it was all in my hair from the shampoo that I'd used, and I never knew the difference. And I was like, holy crap, I've been living this way all my life, where I've been waxing my hands and my body. And
so now, are you paraben free?
I'm paraben free. Well, I don't know about my foods. I mean, I try and eat healthy foods, but every now and then I go to a burger joint or something and get fries. So I'm not sure.
You live a little.
I live a little. You gotta have a little bit of paraben in there. It's just adds that je ne sais quoi or something. I don't know. So tell us how did you guys start your business? How did this entrepreneurial journey start for your company?
like I said, my mom had started it, but I come from an entrepreneurial background. My family were Italian immigrants that came to Salt Lake City, started the nightclub business. So that wasn't like an easy thing. And then, my stepdad owned an industrial supply company here. My mom, she did hair and then she got into skincare. So it was like, I never really saw any of my parental figures work for the man. So I kind of knew I never would either,
Wow.
I was always like, I'm not going to do the same business. I'm going to be a psychologist. I'm at my own practice. But then when I was done with that and I had, met all of these clients and I had seen all of these clients have transformations over the years because I apprenticed my mom through college. And when I was done, I thought I would be on my way. And lo and behold, I was like, I love this so much. I get to help people, in their everyday life feel better by doing, this service. And it's also our brand. I believe in it. You've perfected it over the years. And now I'm helping you perfect it, So we started to just really work together once I was out of college. And we worked alongside each other for probably 10 years, seeing clients. And then she decided to retire from seeing clients. And then about 3 years ago, my mom decided to retire completely. And that's when I was like, you know what? There's only one me and I can't reach everybody. And I really want to scale the brand. It really has become a brand and it wasn't started to become that way. It was like an esthetician who just wanted a really good product line for her clients to get results. And then through that, over the years, I've had so many clients be like, why isn't this bigger? This product's amazing. What are you doing? And I'm like, I know, what am I doing? So that's the last few years. I've just got investors and started scaling it. And here we go. So I'm really excited for the next evolution of Corrective Skin.
Watching it, doing the entrepreneurs, it really helps to grow up with that entrepreneurial blueprints that you can get from your family. I wish mine had some. When I started my first company, I didn't even really know what I was doing. I'm just trying to make a buck and not piss my dad off who wants me to, move out and go to college. This is back in the days when they used to like to have the kids move out, folks. So I'm taking it looks like on your website you have a skin quiz that people
Yes,
can
we
take.
do. Yes.
And it says, one concern I have with my skin is I think I'm going to pick dullness because that's what all my dates tell me. I'm dull. So evidently I have dullness skin. I need that fixed. And my comedy's really dry, so I need dryness. And then I think I'm oily. There's lots of dark spots, but it's mostly just from a dying liver and kidney, I think, at this point. So
I have a feeling it's going to tell you need the whole bundle.
it's gonna be like, you need to buy everything we have. And do you take Accutane? What's Accutane?
Oh, it's for acne. So it's a
okay.
pharmaceutical, something you take internal. Yeah.
Oh, I don't take birth control or hormonal supplements.
That's good.
Who saw that coming? I don't wear sunscreen. So people can go to your website. They can take the skin quiz to try and find out what products might be good for them, what help they need.
They can. And they can reach out to us. There's a few of us that can answer esthetician questions, if they're on the fence about what to order or how to incorporate it with anything else they're using. So we're trying to keep that personal touch going through, e-commerce, because I'm used to people coming into me, but I don't want to lose that if I can.
On where it asks what the air quality is like where you live, you need to add a term for shitty for people who live in Utah.
I know, exactly. Hey, that's part of the reason why, EGF was created for Utah skin. And let me tell you, yeah, it works.
It's made for Utah skin
It is.
people.
So if you live somewhere else, it'll help you too.
Yeah, if you've ever seen the inversion over Salt Lake, when they came up with drones, somebody flew a drone over the inversion of Salt Lake County one time. It was just astounding to look at this thick wall of things. Basically holds everything in, and the air is. We've got a couple air things here that are air monitors, and they're just always constantly. They choke to death. You can hear the air monitor choking.
Like us.
Let's have a little cough, and I'm like, "You okay there, buddy? It's supposed to be the air monitor."
Yeah.
Just breathe this crap.
No joke. So your skin feels the same way when you live here.
You also have a Find My Routine thing on here. I finished the quiz and it said I'm unhelpable.
No.
So we can't work with this face. Having a face like mixed between George Clooney and Brad Pitt, it's
Must
hard
be
to
rough.
find. It's rough. Lots of bras and panties thrown at me and when I walk in public. On the Find My Routine, it helps people find what they need that might work for them.
Yes. And if they're not on all of our products, they can figure out how to incorporate our products with other products they're using for a routine.
Oh.
Yeah. Like I said, we're trying to be helpful in terms of let's get what's going to work for you, not just try to sell you everything that's ours. Although if you want to buy it, great. We know it's the best, but we want you to find what works for you. So we're here to help you through education.
Yeah. Oh, the quiz came back and said I have to, man, I just lost the term on the joke. I have to, I don't know. I'll just skip it then.
Okay, fine.
Damn, I had it right there and I had the term and now I can't remember the term. It's twice I've lost it now.
Maybe you couldn't say it. I mean.
Maybe. I don't know. It said I had to take all your products by enema. There we go.
Oh.
I remember the word enema. So you guys have a plant a tree initiative. Tell us about that. 1,200 plus trees you guys have planted.
Yeah. So for every order placed, we plant a tree. It's our way of giving back. A lot of the ingredients in the brand are plant derived and, we ship everywhere. So it just kind of helps offset the carbon emissions and gives back to Mother Nature, who helps us create good products.
30,000 products sold and shipped across the U.S., 5,000 clients served, 38 years of making the product. Yeah, this should be on like every place.
It will.
I'm sure you've had somebody in Utah say this to you, and they should always be punched in the face when they do. But have you ever thought about making an affiliate MLM for your skincare?
Not MLM because no, but we are actually trying to launch our affiliate program right now. We'll be putting a link on the site soon, and we've just been reaching out to people. But if anyone wants to reach out to us, happy to have you. So,
as a fellow Utah and Nevada, I'm more from Las Vegas, but as a fellow Salt Lake and it's just every company I have, some employee walks in and goes, have you ever thought about turning this into an MLM?
Yeah, and I'm like, no, because that's just...
Yeah, we own a mortgage company up here for 20 years that was multi-state, and the employees would come to us and go, you should MLM mortgages. And I'm like, get the fuck out of my office. How the fuck would... I don't even know, man.
MLM everything.
Yeah, MLM. You have to MLM everything in Utah. That's a law. I think it's a law. But I'm like, what are you going to do? You're going to have 5 people in your downline that own your house? Like, what?
Yeah, one of our core values is integrity. So I feel like that wouldn't really be in line with us.
So is that one of your core values for your company?
Yeah, integrity, empowerment, and connection.
It's good to have core values as a company.
It is.
Because then you have a guidepost to run by.
Absolutely.
A lot of entrepreneurs should have that. Google tried it, don't be evil, but then they finally did enough evil shit that they're like, we should probably take that down. We're not fooling anybody at this point. So, anything more we need to talk about? You guys' product, what you guys are doing, your entrepreneurial journey and inspiration to others?
Not that I can think of. I mean, there's always skin tips and things like that. We talked about the sunscreen. I would say, make sure you cleanse your skin every day just to get environmental toxins off. Like we were talking about, I know people like to skip that part for some reason, but it does help. And then as you age, you want to make sure that you have ingredients like a barrier repair cream, like an EGF or something that has peptides that can penetrate into the skin and help heal the skin, because as we age, our skin ages faster with each decade. So that will just help your skin to be healthier. And, besides the sunscreen, when you're in the sun, using L-ascorbic acid, which is a vitamin C product, that'll help you to not get as much sun damage while you're in the sun. That's always beneficial, especially in a state like Utah where we're all sun lovers here. So yeah, just a couple skin tips there. And I'm full of them. I could just go on all day, honestly. But those are some of the important ones.
So you got to bathe. That's important.
Yeah,
these people, you're a skin esthetician. What do you think about these people who say that you shouldn't shower every day and you should go like 2 or 3 days because there's there's some bullshit behind it. I don't know what it is. Have you heard of those people that think that?
Yeah, it's not my philosophy, so I don't know. Everyone has their opinion.
I mean, my dog comes up, licks my face at night, and I'll have a sweaty face because I'm a guy. I don't wash my face before. I never wash my face. Anyway.
Thanks for your honesty.
Yeah, well, I'm a dude.
Now I'm sending you skincare now.
And so she'll look at my face, and it'll be all clean. And I'm like, wow. Well, yeah, there's a lot of nasty-ass slimy growth there.
Puppy fresh.
So, yeah. That's why, folks, I bathe once every 2 weeks. Anyway, don't do that. And you got the pore clogging checker on the website.
Yes.
This is kind of interesting. What does this do?
If there's, example, so if you have a product, you don't use anything. Pretend you do. Find a label, copy, paste it, and then you put it into there, and then it will tell you if you can use that product. It'll tell you if it will cause breakouts or not. Yeah. I don't want someone to start my product line and they're using makeup that's, comedogenic and they're like, oh, it's making me break out, when it's not my skincare, it's the makeup. So I want there to be a tool, now there is, for them to check everything they're using. Yeah.
I like that. Now, I shower regularly, but I grew up in the 70s, so I don't believe in paying for water. So what I do is I got one of those memberships that you can get in Utah down at the car wash. I just go down there and hose
You just
myself
walk
down.
through the car wash? I want to watch that sometime. Yeah, can you invite me? We live in the same city.
There might be paraben in that soap at the car wash, come to think of it.
And other things.
Maybe the only problem is when I start spraying myself down with a high power sprayer, that takes skin off. Don't do that, folks.
So that's exfoliation for you.
There's a lot of education today on the Chris Voss Show, what to do and what not to do. So,
yes.
We've got to help people because there are some people out there that they need some help. I noticed one thing you got here is some tea tree oil. That's always good stuff. I love the smell of tea tree. I don't know why.
It's obviously all of our skincare is for men and women, right? Our demographic is women, but men do love our tea tree scrub. Yeah, so it's a scrub that you can use every day. The granules aren't so gritty that it's too abrasive, like a car wash.
Can I
but it has tea tree oil in it, so it's great.
It's basically tea, right? So I could put some of that maybe in my coffee or tea.
Basically. Actually, I always say it wakes me up in the morning.
Squirt in there?
It's got that minty zest, smells good. It's refreshing. Yeah.
I like mint. I've always been a mint person, like a mint ice cream, mint. I'll chew on like real mint. I love mint. So
see, it's an experience, right?
Yeah, it's an experience. You get that smell. So
exactly.
That's probably why tea tree just smells so good.
Exactly.
And then you got cranberry cleanser. Can I have that with some turkey and potatoes on the side? Or is that a bad idea?
You could do whatever you want, Chris, but it's definitely a great prebiotic cleanser. It's very digestive.
That's what the ER company always tells me when I show up, when the ER room always shows up. You can do what you want, Chris, but you're always going to end up here again. And I'm like,
just don't drink it, It'll be fine. It's not toxic.
Oh, okay. Right. So I just smear a little bit on the turkey. The smearing on the turkey show. That's what we're going to call this show. Any more you want to tease out to people on your brand, how you built it, and all that good stuff?
Honestly, just if you visit our website, you can read about us. You can, like Chris did, take the skin quiz, find what works for you. Email us, reach out to us in the chat. We're here to help you. We want you to find the best skincare for you. We did come up with a code for the Voss listeners. So capital Voss, VOSS, and then 20 Voss20 to use on the website. So you can get 20% off everything you order, not just one item. Yeah, and that's at correctiveskin.com. So please visit. We would love to have you as our family.
Fix your skin, people. Damn it. It's out of control. It's out of control. We need that. We need the skin corrected. It needs some correction. Take a newspaper and hit it a few times or something. I don't know.
And prevention is key. Start early.
Prevention is key. Yeah. And if you're not watching the video, Kelly looks really young too. She's grown up. I imagine you grew up using your mom's products and now yours.
Yeah, I'm going to be 47 this week.
47?
So I think it works pretty good.
She's a living, walking advertisement for her company. Thank you very much, Kelly, for coming on the show. Give us your .coms and final pitch out as we go out.
Yeah, correctiveskin.com, at Corrective Skin, Facebook's Corrective Skin.
And they're in Salt Lake City as well. If you visit if you're skiing, I think skiing season's almost over, but whatever. People see this 10 years from now, they'll think it's skiing on if they do it in winter. If it's summer, they'll be like, "Is Chris Voss on drugs again?" Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for Kelly for being here. Thank you. Be sure to go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss1 on the TikTokity, and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next time. And that should have us out, Kelly.